Hello everybody, it is Badger Wild. We are back with another Space Engineers tips video. Today on the tips video, I decided to tackle a problem that some of us probably have had, especially new players that are coming in. You know, we got PlayStation players coming in and they need some help. So some of y'all have been playing and you probably messed with the first two respawn pods. You've messed with the Moon Rover, you probably messed with the regular respawn pod, but you probably have not done a whole lot of messing with this. This is the Respawn Space Pod. It is basically a fully functional ship that you get for starting outside space. Now, this thing has a lot of advantages over the other pods in that everything is bigger and it can pretty much become a mobile, kind of like a mobile mini base that you can take and go do stuff with without having to worry too much about what's going to happen next with it. You can actually take this, and usually one of the things I will do when I'm using the respawn pod here, or this respawn ship, or spaceship as it is, I will use this as my primary mining and sort of like my mid-tier when I'm getting the assembler, the basic refinery, and several other things. I'm solving problems such as power and everything else, and transform this ship into a literal, just a literal beast of a machine that just goes out there and does what I need it to do. So without further ado, let's get started. Let me show you what you should do with this ship. So first off, you should be going out and filling up this cargo tank with ore. This is, you're going to have to hand mine anyway, and this is where I'm going to show some people about Space Engineers when we get to progression. In progression, you do not have access to everything on this list. You're going to have to find it, and you're going to have to build certain components to get the components you want. Now, the number one thing you're going to want to build first is a basic assembler, and you are also going to want a basic refinery. Now, the basic refinery is going to give you access to this ore detector, and it's also going to give you access to this drill. These are very, very, very important for getting up to that mid-tier point and getting yourself out of there. Now, along with other things, you are going to need conveyor tubes. Let me see if I can find them here on the list. Normally, I just do this, and they get unlocked after a while. So, conveyors should be somewhere along here, I thought, or maybe they're further down. Yeah, here we go. So conveyor tubes, you'll have to end up building a small cargo container. Usually that's pretty easy. You just grind down your current cargo container and build it back up. That'll give you access to all this. And then you can take these blocks here and they'll be useful for when you're building up the rest of your stuff. Now, once you've gotten those 2 points built, and I'll show you how to build these into your ship, but the other reason you need the assembler is because I believe the assembler here, you're going to have to build a battery at some point, and you're going to have to use that to build your antenna, which is necessary for your ore detector. So let's get started here. So what you're going to have to do first is, like I said, you're going to have to fill this thing up immediately, this cargo container. I would fill it up, do your grinding first, get that technology out of the way with the cargo container so you can have all that other stuff. Might as well do it. But then fill this thing up and then go into your survival kit and set that to grinder. Now your survival kit inside your ship is right here, right next to your one ship, or right next to your flight chair. We're going to do some other stuff here in a minute, so don't worry, we're gonna build this thing up. But first off, the first question you're probably asking yourself is, well, where do I start first? What do I do? Where do I put stuff in? And that's where this section here comes into play. So you're going to want to remove this block and these 2 blocks. Possibly even that conveyor. No, you don't have to remove that if you don't want to. So the reason we're removing these 2 blocks is because we get access right here to these 2 ports. Now on this port, we are going to attach our basic assembler back here. Make sure the 2 connectors are connected forward, and we're going to connect that there. The second one, we're going to connect our basic refinery right here, and there's a reason for this, because you still have access. Most of the stuff on this is still connected, and now by simply doing that, you have access to all of your components, everything else. Now, the second thing we got to worry about is power. This is a problem that you're going to run into with a ship constantly. So while you got access to this big refinery here, you can do one of two things. You can either slap on a solar panel, build up power, or you can add a drill. So let's just, basically for this, since we're doing this other nonsense, let's say you get the drill built. So you want to do the drill first. So first thing you'll want to do is you're going to want to go to and get your conveyors out. And there's a reason for this one. Now this will depressurize your ship. As soon as you pressurize it back up, you're not going to have a problem. If you really want to, you can put a cargo container here, but that's going to add a whole lot of other problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a reinforced conveyor tube. We're going to set it in like this here, so that the armored section is on the outside, because this will vent atmosphere while it's inside here. And we're going to set that right there. And then we're going to pull out a drill. And we're going to attach that right there. So now you have a drill. And with that little bit of work, you can put that in. And for those of you that are wondering, as you can see, the air comes out. And you can see the thing automatically fills itself back up. So you are in an airtight mining rig now. And all of this is connected on through, so you don't have to worry about connections or anything of that ilk. You don't have to worry about that causing too many problems. So, the next thing you're going to want to do probably is power. We're going to get to that right now. And I would just remove these pieces on the bottom. Right here. Remove that. And remove that, because that's going to give you a lot of room. And if you're lucky, you can strap a solar panel here. Ah, that's going to be a problem. I figured it would be. And you're going to take this off too. Don't worry about taking off railings, because what you're going to do is you are going to be transforming this into basically a solar panel platform that will get you power. As long as you turn your ship a certain direction, you can just start charging. Now, a lot of you are probably going to be asking the question, Badger, why don't you just add a solar panel with a deal and everything on it? The problem is the placement of the ship engines. Until you can get to a point where you can move them, and sometimes that requires you to unlock a lot more of the game, you are not going to be able to really move those engines around and make yourself a viable solar panel system in place. If I were to do that, I would take this engine right here and I would move it all the way to the back and give myself a whole lot of room with this solar panel section here. And then I'd be able to strap something on there that would work. The problem is, anywhere you put a solar panel, except maybe up here, and you need these plates, it is not going to operate, and it's going to get in the way of your drill. This is just the easiest way of doing it without it getting in the way of the drill. That's all we're doing right now. So we just do like we did on the other side, just remove these armor panels here, like so. And as I said, just start slapping on the new solar panels. This will get you 4. This is where you can put about 4 solar panels on real estate. You can increase this if you want. Sometimes I do that. I will just increase the solar panel size so I can get even more solar panels on this thing. But now that we've got most of that done, you are pretty much finished. Now, if you want to go even further than that, while you're going along, you are going to need an antenna. So I would really suggest putting your antenna back here. Like so, if you want, if it'll stick. Oh no, maybe not there. I guess you'd probably be better off putting it right here on the side. So like I said, just take that piece off and strap that there. And then since, if you're looking for a place to put your ore detector, if you come down over here, and right about here, you see no air comes out. That's the part of, let me see if I remember that correctly, that is the door that you use for your airlock. You can then attach this to that, and you can stick your ore detector off the bottom. So now you have a mid-tier resource ship that can get you a certain amount of resources and help start getting to the point where you can begin to build. These are the upgrades you can use. So I mean, if you want to take this video, sit down, pause it, wherever you want to be at, look at how I'm attaching things to this ship. Another thing you will want to do, and this is just personal preference, this is another reason why I do this way. You can add guns to this. You can have one small gun up there, and you can even add a second tier gun down there, giving yourself at least 2 Gatling guns. And now you have a ship that can not only do some stuff, but it can also fight. It can go get you some materials. Yes, does it look nasty? Yes, it does look nasty. It does look kind of like a dirty ship. Whenever you want power, you're going to have to turn it into the sun and just rotate it. And I'd suggest to do the rotation. It's just very simple. Go inside your ship when you go to refill, recharge and refill your O2 and H2. Hop into the passenger seat. Just recharge your character inside of your cockpit seat, and then just kind of turn it until you're in line with the deal. Usually you can tell because your electrical gauge on the ship will tell you, hey, guess what? We're not having any issues at the moment. But with this, you're not going to be hand mining for very long. That'll probably be like the hardest part of doing this, is the hand mining to get the equipment to do this. Like I said, the first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to remove the blocks underneath. You're going to want to attach an assembler here. You're going to want to attach your refinery here. And then after you get that done, you're going to want probably power. You just remove a couple of blocks in here about the length, slap in your solar panel. Do the same for the back here. Slap in this nice antenna when you get it, and also just add you a conveyor port. These new armored conveyor things make life so much easier. Trust me, they're chef's kiss. They're awesome. Add you a drill to it, so you can now drill this thing out, and then your ore detector, so you can find your ore. And this is just something that when you get done, you can pretty much later on, say you are, and let's just go in here, I'm going to grab this and just advance this. Let's say eventually you get to a point where you don't need this anymore for refining. You just want to pick up ores and bring them back. So what you would do is you would take off the assembler, and I would just add 3 more cargo containers to the bottom of this thing, and then just reattach my gun. And there you go. You now have a ship that can run a certain amount of storage. And if you want to hook it up to the station also, when you get to that station point, I would go into there and I would get this one. It's the reinforced conveyor T-junction. And then number 7, I would add me a port and maybe slap a camera on top so I can see where this port is and when I get it over there and get it hooked up. So then, yeah, just the ship goes from Blad to Fab right off the bat. I mean, this is how you guys can get that ship going from a somewhat good ship to start out with and turn it into a ship that can really help you out. And this isn't what you have to sit with all the time. You can eventually build this thing up, get yourself some nice materials, set it up into where you can bring the ship in. Like I said, T-junctions, you want to get the basic assembler and your refinery built. That will be very easy, especially if you've got an extra buddy with you. Y'all can get that refinery done really quick, and you can get one of these ships to start building materials and refining them and then assembling them into better materials. You can then turn around and upgrade the other guy's ship, and one of you can be a driller, the other one can be a scrapper if you want to. Also, with the advancements, I may try to take this ship at some point in time if you guys want, and see if I can take the current block parts that we have and upgrade this thing. Not make it any better, but just take the survival pod and just give it a few quick upgrades, make it just a little bit better. But if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit me up with a like, a comment, tell me how you felt about it, and don't forget, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Also, we have a We have a Subscribe Star. I keep wanting to say Patreon for some reason. Well, we have a Subscribe Star now. Link is in the description. $1 a month. You guys can help out. And I have a Rumble channel, which is a free way you guys can support the channel. Head on over there. Give me a view, give me a like, and subscribe to the Rumble page, because that's going to help out later on. That is just a very simple way you guys can really support the channel. I mean, the real guys will go over there and watch some videos. Okay, that it just helps me out. It puts me in better positions. By the way, like I said, folks, hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you guys liked the upgrades, and hope you PlayStation guys out there will be able to take this and show off some of your new game skills inside of Space Engineer. Show them those advanced engineer skills and really impress your friends. Anyway, I am Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty, folks, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.